Hari Om, good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. Please come, let's pray together. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya sahana vavatu sahano bhunattu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord the Almighty, together with utmost devotion, faith and prapatti, together we offer our Sastanga Pranams to seek your grace, your mercy, your blessings, your love, your compassion, your strength. O Lord, please bless us with Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya, only and only to understand thy true nature. And we beseech in you that at the end of our lives, bless us so that we reach your holy feet. Om Tat Sat. So today we are on our Divine Discourse number 275, the Tattva Bodha Talk number 26, on the 1st of April 2022, Plavanama Samvatsara Uttarayan Shishira Rutu Falguna Mas Krishna Paksha Amavasya Uttara Bhadra Nakshatra Brahma Yoge Balavakarane. On this auspicious day of Friday and the time of the evening, we make a firm resolve in our minds that whatever is happening in our lives, Shri Vishnu Preranaya, Shri Vishnu Prityartam, Naham Karta, Hari Karta. Each and every occasion, incident, circumstance, be it from any object, person, place, all that, O Lord, is at your behest, only and only to uplift me from this ocean of birth and death. Our humble salutations to the entire Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to all of you. In fact, today is another very special day, being the 1st of April 2020. We commenced our journey on the discourses on Bhagavad Gita. So, for the Kannada, we started on 1st April, and subsequently for English, we started on the 7th of April. So, that way, if you go to see, so 1st of April, we have completed 2 years. It's our second anniversary today. May Lord bless us with more and more of His divine knowledge, and let His mercy and blessings always be on all of us. So today, Tattva Bodha. Now what we understood during our previous session, we were talking about what is karma, basically. Karma is, one is the action, what we do. And we also came to know that this action, what we do, has got its effects. It just doesn't stop at that. It has its effects. And what are the nature of effects? Drishta means which is visible, where you can see, you can feel, you can understand, experience. And adrishta, which is invisible. Now the adrishta aspect is taken care by the cosmic law. Now that controls each and every action of ours. When I say action, we should also understand it's not just the action. Even a thought, it culminates into a milder form of action. So that way, this particular adrushta, it keeps coming to us as suadrushta and duradrushta. Su is good invisible effect, which comes by way of punya, and punya gives us happiness. And duradrushta comes back to us by way of papa, and papa gives us misery, sadness. Okay. Now then, we also got to know that by understanding the law of karma, what are the benefits? To mention a few, like we always have this feeling, why there is so much disparity in this world? Somebody is rich, somebody is poor, somebody is handsome, somebody is crippled, somebody is dull, somebody is intelligent. So this kind of a disparity is one of the very common questions. We get an answer for that. Then we also understood another question was, why me always? Why this is happening to me? See, if you have overeaten, naturally you will have an upset stomach. And when you have an upset stomach and you know that you were the cause for that stomach getting upset, then you don't blame on anybody. Yeah, I should not have done this. I should have controlled, but it was very tasty. I could not stop at that. You start giving these reasons and you don't blame anybody. In the same way, when we know the law of karma, whatever happens to us, we know that it is by our action we are getting this result. So that gives you a lot of peace of mind. Otherwise, all the time you will be questioning. You will keep blaming everybody. You will keep blaming your parents. You will keep blaming your children. You will keep blaming your siblings or the family or the society and people around. So likewise, we got to know all these advantages. And then we also got to know how this whole thing works. Like on one hand, you have the Sanchita Karma, which is like that capital, well collected, well hoarded, well kept. Now, that is a huge account of several lives. Several meaning not in terms of hundreds or thousands, but in millions of lives. And that keeps giving you punya, papa, and you know what is the result of papa and punya. It keeps throwing at you from time to time. And one more important point here which we should understand is the punya and papa cannot be offset. Like say if I have 110 punya and I have 100 papa, I can't say okay 110 minus 100, let me experience only 10 of punya. No, that cannot be done. So which essentially means 110 of punya, all the good, joy, happiness for 110 I have to experience, and I also have to experience misery, sadness, sorrow for the 100 units of papa. This is one more dimension which we did not discuss last time. Okay, so now this is Sanchita. Now Sanchita keeps throwing from time to time, when we also understood that there is no fixed formula for it. It can come tomorrow, it can come after a week, it can come after 10 years, it can come at the end of your life, or it can come next life, or many lives later also. So that's how you see that disparity. Suddenly you see many good things coming to you, and suddenly you also see many bad things also coming to you, one after the other, one after the other. So this way, Sanchita is now a big account which we all are carrying. Now let's understand the other two. The second one is Agami Karma. Agami Karma is now from now onwards, like from this moment onwards, whatever we are doing, every moment onwards, whatever we are doing, all that during that time we are doing, good and bad. Now this further goes and adds to the Sanchita. Like in a company you have capital account, 1 lakh capital, and during the year they have done say 10,000 profit. Now this 10,000 profit will go and add to 1 lakh and it becomes 1 lakh 10,000. Or if they have incurred a loss of say 10,000, that will again go and add to that 1 lakh. Now that 1 lakh could be a combination of papa and punya. This 10,000 profit or loss will go and add to that papa and punya. It will not aggregate, it will not deduct that way. Okay, this is Agami. Now comes the Prarabdha, which is the third one. Now Prarabdha, which we generally talk as fate. You know, we say it is my fate, what to do now? Whatever it is, we accept on those lines. Now, this particular Prarabdha, there is a fine distinction which we need to understand. Now, when we are studying Tattva Bodha, we are talking with respect to a realized person. Okay. What happens to the Sanchita or the Agami or the Prarabdha of the realized person? Simultaneously, I will be telling to other jivas like us how these three matter to us. Okay. Now, Prarabdha, whoever he is, he may be a sinner or he may be a realized person also, a saint. Prarabdha will not change. Because we think, such a lovely person, such a nice person, what sickness, always he is sick, we say. Or we say he is having so many problems in life. Now, Prarabdha has got nothing to do what his current state of affairs is. Be it anybody, it cannot be taken back. It is Prarabdha, means well set in motion, well begun. So this has already begun. No sooner the jiva enters the womb, the Prarabdha has commenced. That's the reason you see some children, they get aborted even before they are born, because their Prarabdha is only for that duration. So they got aborted and they die away. So this Prarabdha, whatever be the situation of the person in terms of his realization, non-realization, it will be on the same lines. Now, we have to understand, what do we do with this Sanchita Karma of a realized master? Now, which means you are saying that, okay, the person is realized. But then, how does he on one hand is realized, and on the other hand he has a load of Sanchita Karma where he has got huge quantum of Papa and Punya. What happens to that? So now let's study that. I'll just post the slide for you. So here it says, Sanchitam karma brahmaiva hamati nishchayatmaka jnanena nashyati. Now, when a person, he is realized, now for that particular person, this Sanchita karma is burnt away. See, this is what we need to understand. Now this Sanchita karma is destroyed by that jnana. Sanchitam karma means Sanchita karma. Brahma eva aham. When a jiva knows that I am that supreme truth, nishchayatmaka jnanena, by that firm knowledge, the nashyati means it is destroyed. This is that special privilege which every jiva gets when he identifies himself with the Supreme, meaning he knows his true nature. This is that great advantage what anybody has. Now I'll give an example for this, how this happens, so that you'll be able to relate. Let's say there is a person who has committed several crimes in the sense of the highest order, where there are several murder cases, rape cases, all that. He is convicted heavily, and in one of the criminal case he is supposed to be hung unto death, which is 3 months from a particular date. Now the court has ordered that this person has to be hung unto death. Now what happens? In about 45 days, this person dies. Now in several cases, in one he has got where he has to be hung. In several other cases he has got 7 years imprisonment, life imprisonment, and 2 years imprisonment, depending on various cases which are there upon him. But now, although he was to be hung after 3 months, and if that person dies after 45 days, now what we normally, or what the government does is, they say this person is dead and they close the file. They just close all the cases. They close the entire file. All his criminal cases are no more pending. So in the same way, as far as we are in this Jiva Bhava, now we all are in this Jiva Bhava. So Jiva Bhava means you are living. Living in what? In this entity. In this body, mind, senses, in this Sukshma Sharira, as we have understood. We are all living here in this. So we own up to this particular Jiva. But now, when the Jiva itself is dead, how did the Jiva die? I am still living. A man of realization will say, I am still living. Where is my Jiva which is dead? So here the Shastra says, you may be living. That is your Prarabdha Karma. Meaning that body, which is Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, both these will continue to function. But actually what has happened? That Jiva Bhava, your Karana Sharira, is no more. Karana Sharira, which is the cause for the Stula Sharira and the Sukshma Sharira, both of them have already, because of knowledge setting in, now they have completely erased. This is that beautiful thing which happens over here. And naturally, now this is the law of nature. We have to understand this. This is just the law of nature. There is nothing else which can change this. Nobody can do anything about this. This person is like dead. From the point of view of the Jivatva Bhava. So earlier he was saying, I am infinite, I am finite, I am suffering, I am happy. That Jiva Bhava, when it is destroyed, it is like the complete Sanchita Karma is destroyed because he has merged with the Lord. Like as you have seeds, when they are roasted, they no longer sprout. So in the same way, this particular Jiva, it will live as per the Prarabdha Karma. Whatever has to happen to it, time to time it will get the diseases, time to time it will get sorrows, time to time it will get happiness. It will keep doing this Jiva, whatever it needs to do. And when the body drops down, it dies. The gross body of a Jivan Mukta, it merges with the 5 gross elements, Panchabhutas. And even of an ignorant, now let's talk about us also, even of a Jiva, ordinary person who is not realized, even his body will merge in the 5 elements. But a major thing which happens to a realized person is his subtle body, which normally along with the Karana Sharira had to go and take another birth. Now that completely dissolves and it merges with the Apanchikruta. Apanchikruta means the subtle elements, not the gross elements, but the subtle elements. Means it gets merged with the nature. And the causal body, because in any which case ignorance is not there, so causal body is also not there. In this way, now the Jiva of a realized person gets merged, and after death he will have no more life. When his Karana Sharira is burnt, when the knowledge of that Aham Brahmasmi sets in, his true nature. Now, subsequently I'll tell you what you need to focus. Let's not get into the muddle of all this huge knowledge. Simple things in few sentences I'll tell you. Just keep telling that to yourself. That is enough for realization. We don't need to know all this. This is just, we have to learn, we are learning, that's all. Okay, now just as space as we have, let's say there is a pot and now the pot breaks. What happens? The space which was within the pot, it merged with the outside space. So here you compare the pot to the body, and no sooner the body breaks, meaning the body is dead, then it merges with the entire space. In the same way, the Jiva of a Jnani also merges with Lord. Now for a Ajnani, a person who is not realized, ignorant, what happens? On the death of the body, the gross body merges with the gross elements. The Sukshma Sharira, subtle body, along with the Karana Sharira, causal body, it goes for revaluation, and there another birth is allotted, meaning a womb is allotted. It could be the mother of any animal, insect, bird, any species, human or even a devata, depending on your good karmas. Now, we understood how the Sanchita is working for a realized master and how the Prarabdha is also working for a realized master. But now what happens to the Agami Karma? The realized master is still performing actions, which means he is gaining Papa and Punya on a daily basis. What happens to that is next question. So let's understand that. I'll post this slide. So, Agami karma api jnanena nashyati kincha agami karmanam nalini dalagata jalavat jnaninam sambandha na asti. Now, which means this Agami karma, is also destroyed by knowledge, and the Jnani is not affected by it. It is destroyed by knowledge. Just as a lotus leaf, it is in water all the time. Nalani Dala. Nalani means lotus, Dala means leaf. It is all the time in water, but it is not affected. So this Agami karma will not affect a Jnani. So, meaning his very notion of that doership has already died. So he remains to enjoy whatever happiness and sorrow has to come in his life because of the Prarabdha karma, but he will not be affected by any of these actions. There's a small story here. Once Lord Buddha, when he was going with his disciples, it so happened that his disciples, one of the villagers, they scolded Buddha. Now Buddha was in his early 30s and he was strong, young, handsome, well built. Now, and along with him, most of the Shishyas were also of the same kind, like they were all in youth. So those villagers, they started scolding them and abusing them, saying, "You young people, you should work hard in the field. See, even we were so old and we go to the fields and work hard. You people, what is this? You all want free food," and this way, that way they yell at him. Now, one disciple got very angry because he didn't like his master being ill-treated. So he goes and tells Buddha, "Shall I handle this person? He's talking too much." Now, when the disciple said that, Buddha said, "If you have taken anything, you have to return it. I have not taken anything, so I don't have to give back anything." So which means a Jnani, whatever is coming in his life, ongoing, he doesn't take anything. He is completely immersed with the Lord, with that Brahman. So here Buddha says, "I have not taken whatever is said to heart, so just leave it." So then the next question comes, okay, if it is not going to the Jnani, because he is like Nalani Dala Gata, he is like leaf, lotus leaf on water, but then whatever is good and bad has to go somewhere. What happens to that? That is the next question. Who gets that then? So then it is said, here they say, kincha means further. This ye jnaninam stuvanti, bhajanti, archayanti, tan prati, jnani kritam, agami punyam, gachanti. Ye jnaninam nindanti, dvishanti, dukkha pradhanam kurvanti, tan prati jnani kritam agami kriyamanam yat avarchyam karma papatmakam tadgachanti surudho punyakritam dukhrudaha papakrityam grannanti. He says, now whoever are in service to this particular Jnani, whoever are serving him, worshipping him, taking care of him, so whatever during that time after realization, whatever this Jnani is collected, which he is not taking, because his Sanchita is already, his account is closed. So this, all his punya goes to his disciples. Disciples in the sense, whoever is taking care of him. And then as a Jnani, he may still be doing some papa. Like subtle things. When we are walking on the road, we don't know we are stamping on so many insects. When we are breathing, we are killing so many bacteria. When we are eating also, we are causing a certain amount of sin. There is a certain level of papa which is still committed. Now, this papa which is there, it goes to those people who criticize, who give pain to the Jnani, and who also hate this Jnani. That way, all these Papa will go to such people. So this is what happens in the case of a realized person. But now in the case of ordinary people who are ignorant, their account will continue. Sanchita is intact. Nobody is disturbing it. Prarabdha is in action. We'll keep getting what we are getting. And Agami, whatever punya we are doing, will go and get accumulated in the Sanchita. Whatever papa we are doing also will go and get accumulated in the Sanchita Karma. So now in this way, now it so happens that this particular Prarabdha, Sanchita, Agami Karma, this is how it is treated by the cosmic law. So one should have a thorough understanding of this. That is what is extremely important. Otherwise what will happen is we will not know how to function. We do not know, okay, I am trying to do something, but where is it going? We don't know. Okay. Now, what is the result of this self-knowledge? So here, now the result will be, the moment a jnani knows about his true self, first and foremost thing what happens is, the impact of misery in life, whatever was affecting that person prior to being a jnani, now that impact will start slowly reducing. This is, I tell you, it is no theory, one will experience this. You all must have experienced by now some great amount of reduction in the way you all are able to handle yourselves or deal yourselves in this world. That is one. Because it is not like it happens in a jiffy like this. You switch on the bulb and a light and you see the light there. No, it will take some time. It's a slow process, but it will keep happening. The knower of the self, they say, he goes beyond all sorrow. And another important thing which happens here is, he may die in, say, in a very holy place like Kashi, or he may die in the house of a dog eater. Specifically here, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he talks of a dog eater. Dog eater, why he says dog eater? Because dog is supposed to be a very friendly animal, a very dedicated and reliable animal. Now, if a person can eat such an animal, imagine what is the level of, what kind of a human he is. So that way he says, in the worst of the human's house, if you die, the smritis, they tell you that this person will still be liberated. So this forever changing samsara, what we call, samsarati iti samsara, meaning it's always changing. We are always in the realm of time, space, and in some kind of an object. Object is, we are in this body and we are in a particular place. It could be our home, it could be a market, it could be office, it could be some other place, but you are in some space and you are always in the realm of time. You are either today, tomorrow, day after, you are there. And as far as you are in these three, time, space and object, you are in samsara, and this samsara will, as per your prarabdha, keep giving you a joy and misery from time to time. Now, one important aspect here is, being in the realm of time, space and object as a jiva, normally what happens is, if you come to know something, let's say you come to know of a mobile, you understand that mobile properly, you don't become a mobile. What I'm trying to say is, anything you learn, you don't become that. But in the spirituality, what the Shastras tell you is, this knowledge of Paramatma, Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati, means the one who learns about that Paramatma becomes the Paramatma himself. He merges in him. That Jiva Bhava goes away and then the Paramatma Tattva sets into him. So this is one very important aspect which happens. Otherwise, by knowing something, you don't become that. But in this self-knowledge, because that is your true self. Tarati shokam atmavita. And even while living, you cross over grief. The moment you have dissolved in that Paramatma, you have transcended this body, mind, and you are in that bliss. You may be acting in this world as a human. You may have reactions, you may laugh, you may get angry, you may feel sorrowful, but the important aspect is you have another face, another dimension, which is you are in that Paramatma Tattva. Like say if a thorn is stuck to your leg, what is the use of removing all the thorns on the road? What needs to be done is remove the thorn which is in your leg. Now we are all doing the other way. We are removing the thorns on the way. Now Ajnana is in my mind. That true knowledge, that self-knowledge which I need to gain in this world, in my life, is in my head. Now, instead of that, I am going around everywhere in the world, trying to do so many things to get out of this misery. So, if one is miserable, one has to straight. The only place where misery can be warded off is by removing the Ajnana within yourself. All these worldly ways of getting rid of sorrows will not succeed. Imagine, now you know the law of karma. Prarabdha will keep giving you, but you become a spectator. You just become a spectator to all this. Now whenever we say I am going, I am coming, I am giving, I am listening. Now you are listening to this lecture and we say I am meditating, I am realized. Now what are these different I's? So here Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he explains this so well. He says there are three types of I in this world. Whenever somebody is referring to I, you should understand at three different levels. So the first I, what Jagat Guru tells us is, it is like any common person who does not know anything about the scriptures or God, ignorance, knowledge. No, that person when he says I, he is referring himself to himself, which is the body, the mind, his small world, his family. He refers to that I. And the second and third I, he says, is with respect to a Jnani. Now the Jnani, when he is referring to an I, he refers in two scenarios. The second one is where he knows that this particular body, mind, senses, all this is nothing but a Chidabhasa. This is very important. I was telling you, I'm giving you some clues. Please catch this. We should always be in the second and third. The first one, now we have crossed that phase. Now we know Vedanta. Second one is understand that this body, mind, senses is only and only a reflection of that supreme power, of that Brahman. Reflection in the sense, now for example, you are in front of a mirror. The mirror is the body. Reflection is you, the Jiva. And who is the true self? The person standing in front of the mirror is Paramatma, the true self. Now what a Jnani, while he is dealing with the world, he knows that he is in that Jiva Bhava, understanding very well that he is operating, he is playing a role as the reflection, Chidabhasa. And back of his mind, he also functions as the third I, which means he is that Paramatma Swarupa. That is the truth. Rest is all illusion. It's a complete illusion. He knows this very well. So while dealing in the world, he is in the second I. And suddenly he goes back to the first I when there is no transaction happening. He is not talking to anybody, nor he is in dialogue with interaction with anybody, he slowly slips back into the first eye, meaning in the Atma Swarupa, Paramatma Swarupa. So we always have to be in the second eye, where we clearly say that I am a reflection. I am the reflection in the mirror. Just as you see that person, you are playing a role, but you are an illusion. You are not a true person. You are none other than the Paramatma's reflection. Paramatma is there on his own, but the reflection cannot be there without the Paramatma. So we are nothing but an illusion of that Lord. I will tell you some shlokas which has come from Panchadashi, where again it's so very clearly explained about your true nature. We have to understand that. Not just finishing texts one after the other, you do text, but what is the point if you have not got this stuff to practice realization? Mirror, reflection, person standing in front of the mirror. Person standing in the front of mirror is the Lord. Reflection is the Jiva, and that mirror is the body. So you should know that you as the reflection in the mirror is false. Now, when did we get into samsara? When this body, that reflection, as identified with the mirror, it has come so strongly in identification that mirror and that reflection are both one and the same. Just like that bucket and that reflection of what the sun on the water, they all have become one. But what is the truth there? Without the sun up there, there is no reflection in this bucket. So we have to clearly understand, I am just a reflection. I am not there. This is false. So now this is explained in these beautiful shlokas. We'll listen to that in a while. So this way, now this particular jiva of a jnani, it has understood very well. Now I am merged. It is operating in the world in the second and the third eye. And for that particular jiva, whatever be the time of death, date of death, method of death, place of death, that doesn't matter. Now, we all are so much worried about our death. We say, oh, we should die with good health, or we should die, when you are asleep, or we should die when we are in some activity or the other, and without getting sick, we should just die like that. Or it should be on an important day like an Ekadashi day, or in an important place like it should be Kashi, or an auspicious moment. Now all these are for a common jiva, but not for a jnani. Because that jnani, he has already transcended. He may appear to be alive, but as far as his jiva bhava is concerned, he is already gone. He is known as a Jivan Mukta. He is already liberated. So for him, whether he goes on an Ekadashi day, or he goes on an Amavasya day, or on a Purnima day, or he goes on the roadside, or he goes in Kashi, or they also say at the time of birth, or that prana should go from the Brahmara Randhra. All these do not apply to a jnani. It applies to others. Be it in any state, such a kind of a jnani, he passes away. Because that passing away is like a subsequent event which happens. Reason being, already the jnani long time back, when he merged himself with the Paramatma, he's already gone. But Prarabdha is continuing till the fall of the body. Prarabdha, you may be realized, but Prarabdha will not change. Whatever illness has to come, joy has to come, sorrow has to come to that particular jiva as a jnani, it will come. But he is no more there. So in this way, Tattva Bodha Prakaranam Samaptam. It's the end of the Tattva Bodha Prakarana. See, I would suggest, more than going into, okay, I'll take a brief about, briefly I'll touch base from the beginning as to how we could summarize the entire text, okay, and then I'll give you the important tips. As I told you, I'll tell you the shlokas, how what we should focus on. So now the Tattva Bodha Grantha started with a prayer. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitartaya Tattva Bodho Vidhiyate. This Tattva Bodha is given to a Mumukshunam, the one who aspires for liberation. So the purpose of this text itself talks about liberation. So here, now who is an eligible adhikari? Sadharana Chatushtaya Sampannadhikarinam Moksha Sadhana Bhutam Tattva Viveka Prakaram Vakshamyaha. Who is an adhikari? Who is that eligible candidate? The one who has got Sadhana Chatushtayam. And what is this Sadhana Chatushtayam? One who has got that Nitya and Anitya Viveka Vastu. He knows this is Nitya, this is Anitya. Anything which is taking me towards the Lord is Nitya. Anything which is taking me away from the Lord is Anitya. He has got this Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka. Then he also has this Iyamutra Phala Bhoga Viraga, meaning that Vairagya in him. Vairagya is not giving up things. He is able to live with what is not required in the true sense. Then Shama Adi Shat Sampatti, he is a person who is possessing these 6: Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha and Samadhana. And then he also has a earnest desire to achieve liberation. So in that, now the next question comes is Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka Kaha. I'll take the important points here. He says Nitya Vastvekam Brahma. The only Brahma, Lord and Lord alone is that Nitya, means permanent. Tad Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam. Everything else is just Anitya, because you don't know, next moment you are not there. So one who has got this Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka and who has mastered on Vairagya, Shama Adishat Sampatti, all this person becomes the right candidate. Who has got Mumukshutvam, he has got that Tivra Ichcha to realize. Now the next question comes is Atma Kaha. What is this Atma? This is what we need to understand. Stula Sukshma Karana Sharirad Vyatiriktaha Panchakoshatita San Avastatraya Sakshi Satchidananda Swarupa San Yastishtati Sa Atma. Meaning Stula Sukshma Karana. The reason for bondage is we are stuck to this. Now what the definition says is the one who is not this, because we only understand these. So Jagat Guru is telling us you are not this, you are not this, you are not this. Sometimes you go by the theory of removal. You remove, you erase, not this, not this, not this. Then finally what is left? You are able to rather get an answer there. So here it says you are not this Stula Sharira, you are not this Sukshma, you are not the Karana Sharira. Then you are also not the Panchakoshas, Annamaya, Manomaya, Pranamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. You are not the Avastatraya Sakshi, which means you are also not the Jagrata Swapna Sushupti Avastha. You are the nature of Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. This is what he talks about, the Atma. Now we know what is this Stula, Sukshma, Karana, all this we know. Now what we only need to understand here is, now what is that which we need to No, Atma Kaha. We know what we are not. Now, we should be firm in this understanding. And there is a time where once you establish yourself, I tell you, this is no great difficult exercise. You have to only keep telling yourself that yes, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Earlier you were saying, see, some people change their name. Like from, it happens with many women, especially in the small towns and villages, in the olden days, now not much, where the in-laws used to give her a new name. So a maiden name is different and a new name is different. In fact, at least for others, the maiden name remains to be same, but the surname changes. Now, of course, both they have the dual surnames. That's a different thing. So, don't we get acclimatized to the new name over a period of time? So, in the same way here, we have to get acclimatized to what is your nature of your true self. That is extremely important. So, I'll tell you, if you keep continuously gaining knowledge, what will happen is you will become a scholar. But our intention is not to become a scholar. Our intention is to realize. A scholar tries to learn something new every day. A student of Vedanta tries to unlearn something daily. What you are not. I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am not what I have been thinking to be. You just come out of this. Where will you fall? You will fall on the lap of Paramatma only. You will not fall anywhere else. You don't be bothered about that. Just keep telling whatever you have thought yourself to be. Just keep saying, I am not this. That is what is extremely important. So we as a jiva, we have identified with the body, mind and senses. And now you have to disidentify. I am not this. I am not the waking, dreaming and deep sleep state. Okay. I am also not the Stula Sukshma Karana. Which means, then what are you then? There is something which is observing all these states. You are that pure consciousness. Now, just now we understood. It is that reflection. Now that consciousness is all around you. Chaitanya Shakti. Consciousness is also in a dead body. Is also there in inert objects. But Chaitanya Shakti, which is that awareness, is there only in the living beings. So now you have to understand that Chaitanya Shakti is that reflection, that awareness. What you are experiencing now, when you are dealing with the world, know that awareness is that reflection. You are in second eye. And then say, where is this reflection coming? From this Chaitanya Shakti which has engrossed the entire world, the entire planet, the entire universe. That is that Paramatma Shakti. And that is because of that this reflection is happening here. This awareness is there in me. So if you go to that first level, then you are in the first eye. So what you need to do? Detach from the Jiva Bhava. I am not this. That is the only thing which we need to achieve in our lives. So for that you have to continuously keep telling yourself that I am operating. See, the first level, if you say I am this body, I am this mind, because you will always, the moment you are connected with your awareness, you will have problems with the body, you will have problems with the mind, you will have problems with the world. So you are in that third level, which is that Jiva Bhava of an ignorant person. Now you have come out of that. And what you are saying? You are saying that this is that Jiva of reflected consciousness. And I am transacting in the world as the Chidabhasa Chidabhasa is reflection. Chit Abhasa, reflection of that Chit. Chit means Chaitanya Shakti. Where is that Chaitanya Shakti? In the entire universe. Now I am just that reflection here, which is in this body, mind, senses, operating in the world. You have that feeling, I am this, that's all. But my true self, when you get a chance, when there is no interaction with the world or anybody around you, you immediately slip into the first identification of I. You are that Paramatma Tattva. Or just say that Paramatma Tattva alone is there. Because the moment still we are you, meaning, you know what happens? That the third I comes over there. So you say this Paramatma Tattva alone is the supreme truth. This is enough for a realization, I'm telling you. You don't need to learn anything more. Move yourself from the third I, while transacting, be in the second I, and when not transacting with anybody, take your mind to the first I and say that Paramatma Tattva alone is supreme and that alone is there. Ekam Advitiyam. One and only. There is no second. What more Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana we need? That's this all. You have to practice this now. Keep telling your mind again and again, again and again, again and again, again. Come out of the Jiva Bhava, the third I. Slip into the second and operate in between the second and the third. And you know, the benefit of this, what the Shastra says is, the Shastra says, once a person has completely engrossed himself in this firm understanding, when you know that identification with the gross and subtle bodies has come out, and he knows that you are not even the reflection, but you are that Paramatma Tattva alone. He says, in this world there is no return policy. You are already liberated. Even if you say, I want to come back to the Jiva Bhava, sorry, the Lord says, you are already liberated. You are already one with me now. So this is the kind of a scenario. There is no exchange policy. You have realized yourself. Now you can't get back into the Jiva Bhava again. Which means, what here they're trying to say is, whatever, even if you ask for, it will not come back. Meaning, it is assured to that extent. That is what the Lord is trying to tell us over here. So this is what we need to understand. And be firm in that understanding. Because unless and until we know in what we need to be engrossed, then you will not know what to achieve in life also. You will be just roaming. You will be reading here, you will be reading there, you will be listening to that person, this person. You will only be listening, and you know what happens? The Sattva Guna. Now in the next chapter we learn Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, how they bind a Jiva. You know, for various, I have seen in fact various sadhaks, they enjoy themselves in reading, Shravana, Manana, that's all. They keep listening, they read, they keep listening, read. And what? Because this is a nice subject. As somebody is interested in say fiction, this person is interested in philosophy, that's all. He is still bound in the Jiva Bhava. What is important is, get the gist. Practice more. Study less, practice more. That is the secret to not success, secret to realization. Study less, practice more. Constantly keep telling, earlier my name was so and so, now my name is this. Many people, we change the company. When we change the company, do we tell the previous company? Yes, by slip of tongue, initially it happens. But you tell your mind again and again, no, now I am not with this ABC, now I am with this XYZ company. And next time, subconsciously, you will tell, yes, I am working with XYZ. This happened by practice. In the same way, you have to say here, I am that Paramatma Tattva, I am not the Jivatma anymore. This will take us to the next level. Okay. So we conclude here, and now an announcement. This particular Tuesday, I am traveling in the morning. So we'll prepone our Bhagavad Gita class to Sunday evening, 5:30 p.m. I hope that is okay with all of you. Can you all just tell me your interest for Sunday? Otherwise, we'll have to go to the subsequent week. Not this coming Tuesday, but the subsequent Tuesday. Just please let me know your interest for Sunday. Yes, I think. Okay, thank you. There are several people who are okay with Sunday. Then we'll have our Bhagavad Gita class on Sunday. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together we offer today's Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Lord to seek His grace, mercy and blessings. Our humble salutations and deepest gratitude to the entire Guru Parampara. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. Om Tat Sat.